I think so. I think it's working. The computer says it's working. All indications are that it's working. Could someone please just check the audio on the stream quietly enough that we don't get make sure that we've got no jittery audio for this fantastic episode of V.I.L.E Dawn. It's the second episode. Who's happy to be here?
I am.
Yay.
Yeah.
Fucking better be.
Been a while.
Yeah, no, it's been too long.
Exciting.
I'm ecstatic.
We were very exciting.
Yeah. So, I guess by way of announcements.
I'm ecstatic.
We were very exciting.
Oh wow.
Yeah. My bad.
All right, mute that.
Let me turn that off.
Yeah.
Audio's good.
I hear that.
Audio sounded good.
Nice.
I muted myself and took my headphones off to check it.
So, we have no huge announcements. We are playing Night's Black Agents tomorrow. We're starting to get back into a regular routine with some of these other games. Hopefully, we'll be back very soon. Now that, Mike has had his baby and John has gone off and gotten married. And, he's still able to play games. So that's just really cool. So we'll be back to the Curse of the Black Ridge Mine. Hopefully, one of these Mondays pretty soon. But for now, we're going to revisit this completely fucked up superhero story that we were telling here in our take on the superheroes universe here in Savage Worlds. So before we get started, though, I got to go around the horn, make sure you guys are all right. Let's start with James. Who are you? Why are you here? What kind of character are you playing super fast? And are you okay?
I'm doing fine. I'm playing Mordred, the second shittiest knight of the round table. I think Lancelot was a bigger asshole than him. And just by the last session, he's a bit more prone to violence than I think the rest of the crew.
A little. And he's not the best motorcycle rider, if I'm being honest. Like, you wrecked your motorcycle, as I recall. And nice. So what's Mordred's take on what's going on? Like, what's his feeling about what's happening?
Oh, it was just out at the store or whatever, picking up some cleaning supplies, and just these people bust in and start shooting up the place, and just wasn't having any of that, and he helped take them down, and we got the guy out of there. He didn't come out quite unscathed, kind of our fault there, but we fixed him up.
Hey, I don't carry people. Like, I go fast. Other people aren't meant to go Mach 2, man.
Yeah, especially not with a fumbled roll. Good. So, Eric, Spectral Avenger, same question to you. Are you doing okay? Who are you playing? What's going on? Any good announcements? All that kind of stuff.
I am doing great. And yes, I am playing Donovan, who was killed and who has come back to avenge his death, and hopefully we'll learn more about that as the campaign goes on. And he doesn't have a really strong take on what happened. It's not really what he came back to deal with. He was just tagging along with Mordred as he's sort of forced to do, but he thinks the bad guys got what they deserved.
Yeah, and by way of you whispering in their ear and causing them to do horrible things to each other, which was really kind of cool.
Some of them, sure.
Yes. Awesome. So our favorite giant carnivorous pink hippo, Byron and Block's girl. Tell me what's going on, man.
Doing great. Glad to be back at it and be on the player side of the screen, I guess. Been really running stuff, but not really playing too much. Even our local D&D game has been on hiatus for the month of November. Super excited to be heading to Chaosium Con in Ann Arbor in April. Going to be a blast to get to spend some more personal time with a lot of people that I know, and possibly even get to meet Jason in person for once.
I have my ticket. I will be there.
And so we'll be there. And we're hoping, Tyler and I are hoping to get our first adventure, maybe even two, published out by then with Sinister Scenes on the Miskatonic Repository website through Drive-Thru-RPG by then. So hopefully.
Nice.
Working on D&D 5e homebrew. Painting again. 40K. Warhammer.
All right, shit, dude. I have a box of Space Marines to send your way if you're painting again.
That never ends.
I know.
Maybe. I could definitely work something out with you there. I'm thinking about picking up some more commissions.
Awesome.
Again.
That would be amazing because I just paint them blue and then they die real fast. So I think maybe I can
play Ultramarines. That's just disappointing.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
Smurfs. Nice. Tyler, Red Rocket. Fuck. How are you doing, man? How's stuff?
I'm doing good. Just recently got over COVID. Doing great. Excited to get back to being a dog, man.
yeah, exactly. Well, we're certainly glad you're over COVID. That's good, and you're not in the midst of a COVID outbreak here. Particularly since I think Byron's probably like 30 feet away from you at this point, and you'd be giving him COVID while it's playing.
I tested negative. I was right next to him the whole time.
Yeah, he tested negative. It was really fun.
Nice. Awesome. Well, we are all here, and without further ado, although I do need to find some superhero-y music, so I'll work on that real quick. We were just shy. We were like at 1,900 subscribers. We're getting closer and closer by the day to 1,900 subscribers here on the channel. I get a lot of questions as to what the fuck we're doing, why we haven't been posting rules bites or shows. So, long story short, we're trying to catch up. There's a lot of content out there already. I mean, Byron, we were like 5 or 6 episodes in tonight's Black Agents with a backlog there of edits. So. I know I am behind the curve there. I'm going to see if I can get our copyright claimed here with some epic superhero music.
Let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's just going to cut into our earnings, like those.
I mean, we're so rich right now.
Yeah, those tens of cents that we make per month.
To go back to work.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just go hard. Let's go into the DC universe and just rip off their music. No, I'm kidding.
Think of all those starving attorneys though that you'll be helping.
Combat music.
Yeah. All right, we'll go with it's a supervillain soundtrack. I think that sounds good. All right, so just a reminder, everyone, that because we haven't actually got this out on YouTube, so if you're catching this on the stream, we'll have the first episode out on YouTube here before too long. I just got to get an intro done, unless anybody wants to create an intro. Byron's is my favorite, by the way, intro that we have on the entire channel. Like that was so good for Night's Black. Yeah. So we were playing in Freedom City. It's our take on Freedom City. The biggest reason is we needed a good map. And that's very superhero-y. But it is in a situation where all of the heroes and villains have disappeared, right? They went off to attend this galactic conference, and something happened, and none of them were heard from again. Leaving behind, of course, this lot, and whatever dregs skulk within the shadows. And as
Team X.
Yes, Team X, Team Q.
Yeah.
Terror gripped shoppers last night at the Bullseye Megastore as a group of unknown assailants mounted full-frontal terrorist assaults on the electronics department. Witnesses interviewed on the scene seem to have experienced a particular mass hallucination, claiming the attack was thwarted by another shopper with the aid of a talking dog and, quote, a raging pink hippopotamus. Local law enforcement is yet to comment on the attack, releasing only a brief official statement. The scene cuts to a stunned-looking police sergeant standing out in front of the Bullseye Market. In focus, he's in focus, and sort of behind him, the camera angle exposes the chaos behind. We're still investigating possible motivations for the attack and interviewing witnesses as to the details of what happened. One thing's for certain, though. Those present are fortunate there were no further injuries. The news anchor returns. A rash of posts on Chirper provide further riveting details. Shows this sort of screen pop up, and it says and it's blurred out, like a bunch of fucking bad guys just raided the electronics department and then for no reason started shooting each other. Conspiracy much? ? Another post pops up. WTF, with a video link that the anchor then plays, showing an angle through a very blood-stained lens, literally a big, weird, blocky, plastic hippopotamus eating a man, squishing him flat in its jaws. Hard to tell if it was real or not, but you see it, and you guys remember it. Has Freedom City gone mad? Were these strange occurrences really part of some mass hallucination or an indication of something much, much bigger? Stay tuned as Freedom News continues its investigation. Mordred, at that point, you hit the button on your remote. You've had enough. The screen goes black. What's special about your TV? What's neat about your TV that you've got there up in your apartment?
On one wall, it's a giant fucking TV with like a THX sound system.
Nice.
God damn, your bookstore's doing good.
which to you?
Holy fuck.
So and what the hell? They didn't have any pictures of me in there.
So just to remind you some of the highlights. Whilst shopping at the Bullseye Megastore, of course, you were involved in this altercation. You killed all the bad guys by one way or another. Red Rocket, while hauling ass out the door, ripped a police officer's arm off, if you remember. Also hit your one of the hostages or whatever. You managed to basically almost rip his head off as you hit him on the door on the way out or whatever.
Hey man,
the guy they were trying to kill.
Yes,
poor Henry.
Yes. And then, of course, Mordred, trying to escape, laid down his motorcycle and was nearly apprehended, but then, with a great one-finger salute and some cool donuts, shot off into the darkness. So we find you guys now. It has been roughly 24 hours. You are there with Henry Bernfinger, who you will remember was the department manager there in the electronics department. But also once went by Blue Helmet, a hacker who wrote all of his incredible computer programs basically with a helmet on for which there was no visor. He claimed to feel the code flowing through him, and he created some incredible AI. Now, he's little more than a vegetable. He's been in and out of consciousness as you've tried to sort of stabilize him. The Spectral Avenger's healing did in fact stabilize him, but his neck is bent at an incredibly peculiar angle such that he makes an awful noise when he breathes. It's like this, like a vacuum hose when you pinch it, almost, right? Where does this scene find you, Mr. Spectral Avenger?
I believe we were all in Mordred's apartment. I would probably still be there.
Yes, you are all there, but what are you doing with your ectoplasmic stuff? Just sitting silently in a corner with your shimmering form there.
Repeat.
What about blocks?
He probably realizes that it's probably important for him not to move his neck around too much. So she's probably made some sort of collar out of blocks to hold his neck appropriate. So he probably looks like he has this weird, like it'll kind of look like a Dracula collar. It'll be like a pimped, polo collar, but yet it'll actually be functional.
Nice. So you've done that, and you find yourself you're just kind of wandering around. The bookstore is good sized, and Mordred's apartment is it modern, or is it kind of what's
the upstairs apartment is modern.
Okay, so like super modern versus the downstairs, which is really kind of archaic and lots of wood and paper. What about Red Rocket? What are you doing?
I'm probably going through Mordred's fridge.
Surprise! There's nothing there.
I'm probably just kind of going through his house, opening random cabinets, reading books, just everything at a fast pace.
Yeah. So as you're scooting around from spot to spot, and you sort of open the refrigerator to find that like the manual's still hanging in the door, like it's never really been used. It's there, but the one thing that you remember is your body, your actual body, hasn't been to the bathroom in a while, and it's back home, right? So you remember that you have to take care of your proper body in order to. So for those who didn't catch Tyler's backstory, Tyler is a Welsh corgi. But the Welsh corgi inhabits his actual human body, which is as he tries to figure out a way to get back into his normal self. That's better.
Locke kind of gets to the realization that we wasted the entire trip to Bullseye because we did not get snacks at all because we left our shopping cart there.
Yes.
I gotta go let my dog out at home. Let me out of the house.
I'll put him out.
So you let him
I'll be
out.
right back.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah, so you
This somber.
yes. There's sort of just I picture this sort of rustling of newspaper and all kinds of like sort of
Gotta go.
garbage
I gotta pee. It's just kind of what he mutters to himself as he takes off.
So with that boom in the distance, or really just outside your window, the window panes kind of rattle, and your patient stirs. Your patient stirs on the couch in his Lego collar as he's there just. He reaches out and grabs Mordred's arm as you kind of say "fucking dog." You feel his cold hand on your wrist. Turns you to face him.
Alive?
You must help, he says. They can't get it. They can't get the core, he says.
Or what the hell's that?
It's all he needs to return. Oh. Looking you're not sure if it's the pain of his injuries or if it's just how uncomfortable a Lego
neck brace would be.
Neck brace would be. They know that I'm the one, but they will stop at nothing. It's Rose, you see. It's Rose. He pulls on you with a little bit more strength than you'd expect for someone in his condition. You must help.
Who's Rose?
She is my little Rose. You must help. He starts to kind of cry a bit. She's with my wife. They'll be expecting me. They'll start to make some noise. They'll make themselves known. And then they will go find them.
At your home? Is your address on your ID?
Yes. You must take them to safety. You must not let them find the core.
Can't you, just FaceTime them? I don't really think you should move right now. I mean, I'm not a doctor. Well, I am a doctor, but not that kind.
There's no time. You must get them to safety. A phone call can be traced. Everything that goes through the network can be traced. This conversation... Oh, do you have security cameras in here?
No.
Good.
No Dr. Conspiracy, we don't.
He it's like he tries to give you a nasty look, but he can't turn his neck that way. So he just kind of looks to the furthest corner of his eye and it just kind of sneers.
Where would even be safe for these people?
Somewhere where there is no network. Somewhere where they can't be found.
Like a Bullseye electronics area or something.
Yeah.
That worked out well.
I didn't expect them to return. They were all gone. This is all part of a plan. I feel it in my bones. He'll be back. He alone.
What you feel is swelling.
We'll be back.
V.I.L.E. Ignatius V.I.L.E.
Can somebody let me back in?
Yeah, you hear a dog you hear a dog outside. Just so it takes you about 15 minutes to let your to let your body you go outside and shit in the alley or whatever he does.
He probably has like a puppy mat.
Yes. There you go. Like a really big puppy mat.
Oh, like the entire living room is just a puppy mat.
Yeah, so he explains, Ignatius V.I.L.E. You don't think that the disappearance of all of those heroes was... You don't think that was by coincidence, do you? He says,
I'm not going to miss a lot of them.
I mean, some of them were kind of dicks. So like...
But if we go help these people, we get to fight more of those people that were at the store.
I don't know what servants he has. But I promise you, you will regret any delay. You will regret his return.
Are you threatening us? I'm just confused here.
I'm not going to hurt anyone. He just looks at you. The same look that he gave you in the electronics department. Like, what the fuck kind of thing.
You have someplace you want to go?
Someplace where there's no network. Someplace far from here. Thanks for the follow, Jazz.
Someplace with no network. Network.
She's like pacing around just out of his field of view, and every time you make a one-liner, he's sort of, because he wants to look. So just, dude. What do you?
Don't worry, things will be okay. Keep your head up.
I wouldn't turn your neck too much. You'd probably hurt it.
And it's no matter. All is probably lost. If these are the best options we have for the survival of Freedom City, we're fucked.
I mean, they didn't capture you at Bullseye. You're here and safe.
Oh, am I safe? Am I safe?
Mostly in one piece?
I'm safe and paralyzed, little girl, he says.
So knowing all this, you don't have like a safe house set up already?
Professor X was paralyzed. You could just get some self-esteem. That'd be good.
My home is not without its safeguards. But my cover's blown. You don't actually think that I was an electronics manager on purpose, do you?
I mean, you did put in an application.
You were a hacker, so I mean, electronics management seems to be your specialty.
You did take the drug test.
I don't think they forced you to sign up to work Thanksgiving.
They had reasonable benefits and flexible hours, but enough of that. He says. Don't you hear what I'm trying to tell you? The safety of the world is at stake. And all you could do is make jokes.
Where can
Play
I
with
leave
your
you
Legos?
so that you're not here when they show up and mess up all my stuff? Like the dog is just done.
I didn't mess up anything.
He gives you his address, and he explains, I need to get out of town, and I would have done by now, were it not for the dog's clumsiness.
You asked me to get you out of there. I said I only had one way to do it, and you're like, I'll take it. And now here you are crying like a baby.
I picture this guy, he's laying on this couch, you guys are just standing around him berating him, and there's a ghost sitting in the fucking corner. There's a flight that I could take to Arizona. If I could sit up, he says. So I'm afraid I'm
they
at your
have
mercy.
Accessible seats.
I'm glad you think that my predicament's funny. I have information that you're going to need. I have skills that will be very helpful if you're to survive this. If we're to survive this. Why did you just not let me die there if you were just going to lay me on a couch and treat me like shit on your shoe? But, if you even wore shoes, or between your claws, he says.
They're paws, just so you know. But, and they're padded. They're really nice. But kind of like sandpaper, but like smooth. What was I saying?
I mean, what do you think, Jim? You're being awful quiet over there. Why are you ghosting us?
Mr. Bernfinger has a point. If there are innocents in danger, we're wasting time.
Oh, that's a first sensible thing. And ironically, it seems to have come from...
Yes, he's a ghost.
Yeah, he just doesn't know what to make of it. Just...
Yeah.
We have a chance to stop this, and I can help. So what do you do?
All right, let's go get him.
So we're gonna go get his family.
I can't just
Can anyone drive? Are you taking with us?
You can get an Uber. This one looks really reliable. His name's Randy.
A fucking Uber, a talking dog.
I think he would be safer here in a place that nobody knows to look for him, rather than bringing him with us where there may be danger.
I mean, if he could walk, he could probably come with us.
I mean, he said that they could track any kind of cell phone thing or whatever that would. So I think we should test that scenario. I think we should say that we're going to be taking him somewhere and then go save his family instead. And then that way the bad guys will all go where we don't want him to be instead of at his house.
So we can go get his wife and he can call her phone, and then I could take it and run it to the other side of Freedom City.
Right. Exactly.
I'm going to go to his family's house.
On his one-seat bike.
Yep.
It'd be like Dumb and Dumber at the scooter scene. What is your plan? What do you guys do?
Your family has a car, I'm assuming.
Yes, I have a car. It's probably still sitting in the parking lot of the Bullseye.
I'm going to call it Uber.
Emily's car is wherever Emily might be.
We'll call Emily so we can go get her.
I don't have my phone. If you don't remember...
And if they can track it, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, it probably is. They were trying to murder me.
Don't you know her number?
Rover? Yes, I know her number. 786... He rattles off a number. But please, hear me when I tell you.
If we're worried about them tracking, then we shouldn't call either.
Yes. You notice as the more active... what's your character's first name? Spectral Avenger? Donovan. So the more active he is, the frostier the surfaces around him get as he exudes this sort of spiritual energy to be able to communicate. It's pretty fucking creepy.
So one of my special abilities is scavenger, and so once per encounter, I can remember that I have a much needed piece of equipment, ammunition, or other device, and so I will just happen to have a newly activated burner phone in my pocket.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I will just call around this. It's a burner. Like, no one would use it. You can throw it away afterwards. You get it for like $15 at the Arab store.
So he's lying there with his more or less paralyzed body, right? As you
They have good dog treats at the Arab store.
As you hold this thing out, his eyes kind of turn and look to you with sort of a knowing approval, but his arms do not move. He's just there. Allow me to give you the number. He calls out the number. Do you dial it?
Yeah.
Okay, you do. So you dial, and it rings a couple times. Rings again. And you hear this sort of, hello?
Yeah, one moment, please. And I'll put the phone over by his face.
You put it on speaker, or do you just put it by his face?
Oh, yeah, I put it on speaker.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So you put it on speaker, and he's, darling, oh my God, is it you really? Are you all right? Where are you? It's okay. I don't have time. Just listen to me. I have some, and his eyes dart around to each of you. I have some friends, and they're going to help you. I need you to get Rose. Rose? But we're on our way to a soccer game. A soccer game? Well,
Ball?
Ball. Don't you remember? It's a soccer tournament. She doesn't know anything about what happened. Where are you, Henry? I'm fine. There were some complications at work. I know. I've been watching the news. I thought you were dead. If you thought I was dead, then why are you going to soccer? And there's this dramatic pause. All right, well, what's going on?
To the point, please.
You're like, we can talk more when my friends get there. Just get to the house. Get to the house. You had better not be with her. I did what? With her. Jennifer, she says with this really like horrible overpronunciation of the name. That was years
Didn't she
ago.
just come here? And then we wouldn't have to go get her?
He looks at Mordred.
That lead.
This phone call is going on very long.
Yeah. That would
You'll
lead
be
them
giving
right
out
here.
The address.
Yeah, it's a good thing nobody can track it.
Yeah.
Give me a notice roll.
We can get to you faster than you can get here.
It'll be
Who
Blocks
was
Girl,
that
just
from?
Blocks Girl. You're Red Rocket. You are too short to see what he may see, and I think it's Blocks.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
Ooh, Wild Die saves you for 4. So just as you say, it's a shame they can't track it. You notice the and this is sort of one of these older kind of, like with like LED sort of letters and stuff, like this sort of black and white LED screen. It just starts to kind of shift and change. Like the letters start to kind of decode almost and sort of pixelate as you're watching. The light kind of starts to flash strangely. Honey. They're going. Should I give them your address? Tell me, he says. He's
We're coming to get her.
All right. Go to the house. Just be there. Trust me. I've trusted you last time, Henry. Why haven't you called me if you were all right?
Hang up the phone.
I can't.
I hang up the phone.
He says. So you grab the phone, and just as you're closing it, notice
It's the end call button, Mordred. I know you don't know how it works. It's the big red one.
I just crush it in my hand.
Nice. So Blocks.
We're supposed to take the battery out first.
So you notice the pixelation has actually changed into this sort of grimace of a face. It's like this sort of pixel art sort of face. But then he just, and it sort of sparks a little bit in his hand, and little bits of plastic, some buttons fly off of it, and kind of clatter to the ground.
Hey, watch it. People
Yeah,
are down here, you know.
That was like 1650.
Hey, it's hard to afford stuff as a dog in a broke collar. Dropout? What are you?
Let's go. I head out. Whistle for the ride.
So he whistles. He must mean that he wants you to come with him there, Rocket.
Oh, okay, I'll go with him. I run to him and I just set up one.
So
I sit on his porch and wait for my Uber.
Yeah, so you whistle and you hear this kind of really kind of beefy Harley engine as your motorcycle rounds the corner. What does it look like? Like, give us an idea of this motorcycle. Is it bones and shit or what?
I had a bike picked out for it. I'll get a picture of it in a bit.
Is it black?
But it's also not necessarily a bike. It could be a horse.
Yeah, sometimes it's mostly when you don't want it to be a horse, it's going to be a horse.
I rolled a D100 and I think a low was supposed to be a horse.
Yeah, that's right. Low was horse. Low was horse.
Okay.
Anyway, so you
Look,
get
James.
your motorcycle.
Good luck, James. Dobbs has got the best horse on Myth Brigade.
Yeah, the best tripod horse ever.
Why did you have a horse?
Because I'm a knight. Okay, just leave it at that.
Okay.
The dialogue.
Funniest shit I've ever heard.
That's amazing. Because I'm a knight, okay? I could just see the comic bubble. Like, I wish I had some comic artist friends. So yeah, you the Uber pulls up, interestingly. So you put in the Uber details. What happens with Mr. Bernfinger? Does he stay on the couch?
He can hitch a ride on the Uber.
He is immobile. He's not moving by himself. He is not in good shape. Like he's if you got him a wheelchair.
How far away is the house, judging by the address?
It's actually in the suburbs, so it's going to be about a 25-minute drive, assuming traffic's not gnarly. I'm going to say it is about 2:30 p.m. on a Saturday.
How about 10 feet above traffic going really fast?
Well, then that's a lot less time. You math
What
that
about
as you
running
will.
through traffic really, really fast?
Yeah, you can get there
Uber and
incredibly
stash up
fast.
someplace safe.
And
Well, I have a feeling that the block's collar is going to create some questions. So once he like goes to get into Uber, I'll just like do away with it.
Then his neck won't be supported. That's probably bad.
Well, he didn't like it anyway, so.
Okay.
yes. Well, you'll remember that the healing was complete, but his neck is. He makes a horrific sound when he breathes. It's just a sort of like.
It'll probably be best if you let me do the talking.
It's healed, just not right.
Yeah, exactly. It's never going to be. I mean, that was all I could do.
It's
for
never
going
to be right again.
Lesson for next time is we straighten him out and then do the healing so it heals back properly.
Yeah, just move his head around however you want. Make sure it's straight. Okay.
I'm not an expert, but.
So how do you travel? So Red Rocket, you're going to just blast your way through the city and show up in the neighborhood?
Yeah.
Okay. And
You're definitely getting there first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say
I think
so.
I have to go with Mordred on his horse.
That's true. So you are cruising along Mordred with a ghost on the back of your bike. You need to get a side.
And then Blocks Girl and the paralyzed guy keep going. The Uber.
This is so stupid. I love it.
It's not very efficient.
Yeah, I love it. No, it's good.
This is amazing, dude.
Okay.
Till we get a fifth character that has some sort of transportation abilities.
Yes.
We're pretty
Yeah, we
much
talked
straight.
about that. And actually, we have a couple of interested parties, but I didn't want to engage them not knowing what our schedule would be. So hopefully we can pin that down now. Okay. So
Fine.
we picture the scene. The camera kind of pans in over these nice trees and this quiet neighborhood. It's like it's sort of little kind of spacious. There's a lot of ranch-style houses, a couple 2 stories, mostly one. Lots of cars parked on the side of the road. There's lots of leaves because it's roughly the same time of year. And there's just like leaves kicking up in these crazy patterns. And we see this cat and you just blast past this cat, and it
And
almost
I
shits itself.
immediately turn right around, do like a little U-turn, and chase the cat for a second, and I just stand next to it. And I'm like,
Yeah, so you
wait for it to react.
yes, and it does. It panics and it runs up in the tree, and then you feel satisfied, and off you go, moving along.
And then back.
For those of you who just joined, just to reiterate, Tyler's character is a Welsh corgi with mechanical arms like Doc Octopus, folded out behind him for use later. You arrive in the
It's
neighborhood.
super speed.
You do, in fact, arrive in Sherwood. On Sherwood Avenue. Let me give you this map. Make sure you can see it. So you arrive roughly. Cool. Thanks for the follow, Jan. You arrive here, Tyler, at this sort of crossroads, which I'm assuming you can see.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right? So you kind of, and his house is actually down here. You see there's a guy in a tracksuit running along, heading sort of up the road. He's down here at this point. He's just kind of running along. He's got some headphones in. And there's the sound of lawnmowers. You can smell a grill in the distance. It's a neighborhood. It's just, quiet.
I reduced my speed to slightly above average.
Give me a stealth roll. Real quick, sorry, as I choke on my tea. Give me a stealth roll.
Stealth here's.
Make sure you stop and pee on the trees as you go by.
Yeah.
I probably would, but I hit the wrong button. I'm fucking it all up. It should be. Yes.
Nice. So you come out of your super speed at just the right moment, sort of between a tree and the guy in the tracksuit, right? As he's running along, he's kind of, and he stops, and he's like, hey, boy, hey, come here, buddy. Come here, fella. You lost? He starts walking toward you. Come here. No, it's okay. Come here. He gets.
I just keep scooting away like I'm scared.
Yeah. No, come here. What the hell's on your back? Oh, you're a service dog. Oh, come here. He starts moving kind of quicker. Come here, little fucker. Jesus.
I'd really appreciate if you didn't touch me.
Whoa, fuck! Oh! And he... Hang on a second. He's going to have a D4. No, he... Oh, shit! He's standing on the other side of this tree. He's like, what the fuck? Did you just talk to me? Hey! He's feeling it. He feels his pulse. He's like, okay.
I just prance back down the street.
I got this. Okay, hey, shit. Oh. He just leans up against the tree, like having a moment, like he doesn't know what happened. And right about that moment, going roughly the same amount of miles per hour, you fly. Does this thing flies?
It can, yeah.
Okay, so you've got a flying motor. That's fine. It can. Of course it can.
So
So
there's
there's
the horse. It's a flying horse.
but it's a motorcycle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're like, whatever. So
Sometimes.
And it's making this. Do you try to be quiet about this, or do you literally fly over the trees in the suburbs?
Once
in
the
broad
streets,
daylight?
if just flies to get over traffic or obstacles and is on the road, otherwise.
Okay, so I picture you kind of, you're at this sort of intersection, right? Kind of a moderately busy road, and you kind of come crashing down, and you create a little bit of a stir with people navigating through the intersection. But yeah, so Rocket, in the distance, you can hear the sort of the Harley.
I just kind of, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You what?
I just kind of prance down to his house, pretending to be a dog.
Okay. You don't get a whole lot more attention. You do notice a couple, like one guy mowing his lawn just kind of checks you out as you're walking along, and just kind of.
I just kind of look at him and nod, or wink at him, like dogs do.
Yeah. Yeah. He smiles, like you make his day, kind of thing. Meanwhile, you're driving along. Oh, come on! Your name is what? Who did you put the Uber under?
Samantha.
Samantha? Samantha?
Yeah, right here.
Come on. Come, get in, please. He gets out, does the whole, tries to, help you. Let me help you with this guy with his crooked neck. And, helps him get seated. You close the door, and then you're on your way in traffic, kind of cruising along.
I don't help him get in at all.
You just stand there. He doesn't really seem to notice. Don't you want to help your papa? He says.
No, he's good.
He pats the guy on the shoulder. You guys get in. The guy's kind of maybe Latin descent. He's the really clean car. It's an Uber XL because you got a credit card that you got some room on or whatever, and off you go driving across town in an Uber, listening to some cool sort of island music. He starts just does a regular Uber interrogation thing. How much do you engage with him, Blocks?
Very little. She's socially awkward, so she wouldn't talk to him at all.
Okay, so you just sort of stare out the window, and he's asking some questions, and
I pull up some music. I pull up some music on Spotify and put my headphones in.
Nice.
And I try to make it so it's just loud enough that the guy sitting next to me in the car can listen to it, and so that Bernfinger can hear it.
Yeah.
And I search through the songs. I get a little chuckle as I push Ludacris's "Break Your Neck" or Busta Rhymes' "Break Your Neck."
He as he sits there, he does absolutely notice, and he sort of just sort of looks at you with almost like this look like he wishes he could just throttle you. Is he sitting there with this kind of weird neck? And he just grimaces as you drive across.
I talk really loud because my earbuds are in. It's it's a good song.
He doesn't nod. You'd think he would like to nod, but he doesn't nod because of his neck. So it's the most awkward drive. What's even more awkward is sort of Mordred, you arrive, you pull up in front of the house, and Rocket's sitting by the mailbox, just sort of like he lives there, just kind of sitting there.
I'm just kind of sprawled out on the driveway in the sun.
Yeah,
just soaking it up. You guys are slow.
Yeah, warm driveway on your nethers and whatnot, and yeah.
It's great. You should try it sometime, Mordred.
Yeah. So I guess nothing fucked up's happened here yet.
He says as he gets off his motorcycle.
No, I've kept it all together.
Yeah, great. Nice job.
Oh, thanks.
I'll go knock on the door.
You do. You knock. You walk up. It's just your sort of typical. It's not like a massive, double door or anything. Just sort of typical house front door with kind of this sort of patterned window at the top, allow a little bit of natural light in. You knock a couple times. You get no answer.
Are they even home? Is the car in the driveway?
There's no car in the driveway. No. There's a garage. The garage door is closed. Yeah, the garage door is closed.
Hey, Donovan, can you take a peek inside there and see if no one's home?
I think she's going to react well to.
I'll go around back and see if
their
they're
house.
see if I can see out.
Hey, Eric, can you pull your mic a little closer to your mouth, Mike? Or Mike. Your mic, Eric. Thank you. That's better.
Check the garage first. See if there's a car in there.
No, there is not actually. You do notice, though, that there is a bit of moisture on the ground, which would indicate that maybe a car has been parked here recently, air conditioning, condensation kind of thing.
Go back to Mordred. There's no car in the garage. There was one recently, but I don't know how recently. Either she's left again or she hasn't returned.
Probably hasn't returned, and probably a good idea to have Henry here.
So
hopefully he's on his way.
You wait in the driveway?
I'll take a quick walk around the house while we wait.
Okay, you do. So give me a stealth roll as you do that, Mordred. And that's going to be at -2, unfortunately, because it is broad daylight.
I was actually going to do the same thing. So I'll just go with it.
Are you going to go with... Okay. So you will be Nice. Okay. Was that with a -2 already?
No.
Okay.
So I guess a 3.
Right. Yeah. So, Rocket, you hear footsteps, and you take that opportunity to sort of dart up into the bushes, right? Because suddenly there's someone there, and you hear this. Well, hi there, fella. You look over. There's this old guy, and he's there, and he's like in these kind of long navy plaid shorts with his socks pulled up and some nice bedroom slippers on. And he's got a white shirt, just a white like dress shirt with a pocket, or a undershirt with a pocket. And he's got that sort of bucket hat on. You looking for somebody there, fella? He says. Obviously talking to you, Mordred. Yes, talking to you. Yes, because you're walking around the side yard, and this guy's a next door neighbor, right? So he's.
Yeah, doing a welfare check on this family.
A well check, huh? You from the police? He says, looking you over.
Yep, and just continue on my way.
Well, hey there, fella. Do you have a badge?
Yep, just walk off.
Michelle, call the police. I think there's something funny going on over here. What do you do?
From the
Just
bush,
walk
I
all the way
yell,
around
"Bravo."
and end up standing in the driveway again.
Okay.
Just
Oh, so you walk back around toward the driveway, not continue around to the back of the house.
no, I did the loop around the house. But
Okay.
I mean, it'd be a minute, and then I'd be back on the other side.
I got it. So yeah, you press around the back of the house. And Rocket, what do you say in response to this? 'Cause he just basically walks around into the fence.
We're friends of the family. And I kind of like scurry off. So he can't see me.
Okay, so you don't let him see you. You just say this from the bushes?
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a stealth roll. Let's see if he sees you or not.
Yes.
You gonna let that stand? You gonna use bennies? What are you gonna do?
I'll use a Benny. Why not?
Okay. Sure. Just hit the reroll button. Damn. So you say that literally and just scoot, and you see him as you kind of scoot around the corner, and you're kind of looking. You can see through the bushes as he starts to kind of look in there, and he reaches up and taps his hearing aid, like he didn't hear something quite right, and he's looking around. At this point, his wife comes up to the kind of out of their own garage, and it's like, Alfred, what are you doing? There's somebody wandering around their yard, Michelle. And they kind of start having a conversation. I told you to call the goddamn police, he says. I thought you said to. You what?
I'm just kind of listening.
So, we're collapsing a little time, right? But at this moment, you've got him and his wife standing down by the mailbox. And they're watching every move you make closely. You don't think any police have been called because none have showed up. But they're both there. He with his little shorts, and she's in like a muumuu, right? Just kind of standing by their mailbox while you're in the next driveway over. Thankfully, the sun is such that you can't really make out Spectral Avenger all that well. And the Uber pulls up. Thank you so much, Samantha. And the Uber door opens.
Right. I'll get out.
So I picture.
Now,
what's Block's girl wearing? What's her fashion statement today?
Fishnet stockings, a short black skirt, black leather jacket with like rhinestones and studs on it, pink hair, like crop top that says like Metallica or something on it.
Nice.
And so forth. As she gets out of the car, she reaches in her pocket, pulls out a $20 bill, hands it to the Uber driver, and says, "Bring him back in like 15 minutes. There's another 20 in it for you." And then I just get out of the car.
He sort of looks at you. Give me a spirit roll.
Oh.
He smiles, kind of looking at you. He's got a gold tooth, and he just kind of gives you this knowing smile, and just cruises off, and heads back out of the sort of the front of the neighborhood or whatever. So now you're all standing in this fucking driveway, and so
I just walk up the driveway.
So you're there. Mordred's there. Did you dismiss your bike, or is it just parked here like it should be?
It's just parked there. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, what do you do?
Once I'd gone around the house, I just would have sat back on it and waited.
Yeah. No, that's where they find you then, right? You're just kind of sitting there, having somewhat of an off and on staring contest with the next door neighbor Alfred and Michelle.
Are they home?
Doesn't seem to be the case.
Have the neighbors seen them? They seem to be very interested in everything going on.
Have you nosy bastards seen where the family's been? How long ago did they leave?
You call out to them, and at this point engaging. Give me a spirit roll as well, Mordred. Alfred starts kind of making his way over. He hikes his shorts up, does one of those adjustments, like he's going to come tell you what for, and kind of makes his way over. Now, there's no need to be using foul language, son. You said this is well checked. What's this all about? Who's that? Why's she dressed like a hooker? He says.
Hey, careful with your words there, Pops. First off, I'm the babysitter. I was hoping maybe Rose was here. I was supposed to watch her, but what are you doing? Did you not take your vitamins this morning? Your Geritol or whatever that old people medicine stuff you guys take?
Now you're just being disrespectful. Babysitter.
I've heard that before.
You don't look to be not much older than Rose. What she need a babysitter for? By all means, I
don't question these things. They said come here at this time and babysit Rose. So I don't know.
Right.
You have to take that up with them.
Well, I'll tell you what, when I was a kid, I used to have a job, and I certainly would never have thought of going in public dressed like that. Filth, he says.
Do you have children?
I raised 2 children. I raised them to adulthood, and
I'm sure they're awesome.
So you're squaring off.
Old man.
His osteoporosis is such that he's not much taller than you. Do you say that out loud?
No.
Okay.
I'm telling you that.
I'm gonna kind of come out and start walking.
Gotta remember how it works.
Alfred, there's a dog. There's a dog. Look. He just waves her off, just you be quiet. I don't understand what's going on, but I believe they're just at a soccer game, he says.
Do these old people have a dog?
You have no idea. Do you ask them?
No. Can I see into the yard if there's any dog toys or anything like that?
You could take the time to run over there. It's going to take you a minute or two to search around and see. There's nothing obvious outside for sure.
Well, could you tell me what time Mrs. Bernfinger comes back from soccer?
I am not her keeper. I just know their routine, and I happened to see them packing up soccer balls, and she was in her shin guards.
Yeah, in her routine. That's kind of the point in the question. Thanks for joining the deal here.
You know what, Missy? I think I'm going to have a word with Miss Bernfinger and let her know what a disrespectful young lady she's hired to watch her Rose.
What time we should be coming here, and then we can have this conversation together.
I just said I'm not her secretary, little girl. Is she yours? She has to be yours. He looks you over with your motorcycle and all that. Is this your daughter, sir?
Mordred looks like he's 18 or so.
Oh, he does. Oh, okay. Wait. He says something else then. Oh, and I reckon as soon as she drops off Rose and goes off elsewhere, Mr. Slim here's going to come and hang out and help you babysit. Is that what we're doing? He says.
He's in fact helping me babysit. That is exactly right. He's like, fuck no, and I'm like, yeah, that's right.
You know what?
Our lies don't mesh up well. We've got 3 different stories going on.
You know what I think you have going on? I think that you're both reefer heads, he says. That's what I think. I'm going to have my eye on both of you.
First off, marijuana is such an older drug. Like, you got to get with the times, you know? Like, stop reading articles in Cosmopolitan and Family Household or whatever other subscriptions you get.
At this point, he's walking back across toward his driveway.
I thought Eric was trying to mind control him.
Oh, did you?
He answered the question, so I decided not to.
Oh, okay.
I come back with some form of a toy that I found in their yard.
Yeah, it's like the other neighbors. It's like an old flattened soccer ball that you find in the just like discarded and forgotten about. You're like, you got it in your mouth.
I just kind of walk over
to this guy.
Yeah,
he just doesn't get out of my way. He says he kind of shoos you with his slipper and he walks past. Reckon you hear him saying you can hear obviously because of your dog hearing. He's sort of talking to his wife. There's something fishy going on over there, and I'm telling you, they're reefer heads. He says. Well, why don't you just call the police?
Feel free to
then?
haunt the neighbor's house while we're waiting, Donovan.
Haunt the neighbor's house.
For God's sake, why don't you just call the cops then? Right? If you think there's something going on. I admit, she does look like a hooker. Exactly. Reefer heads.
Yeah. I kind of snort as I'm like laugh internally as my dog self. I just
now whose dog do you think this is? I don't know. Pick it up and smell it. If it smells like reefer, it's probably theirs. I want to be inside. I want some OJ, he says. Goes inside, slams the shit out of the door, and she's kids these days. Come here, little fella. She goes to pick you up.
I kind of just shunt out of the way.
Okay, she's whatever. Get out of my yard, then. Go on. She shoos you away.
I'm gonna go. I take a shit right in the middle of the driveway.
Summoning up a shit on command, as you will.
On command.
You just shit right there in the driveway. As your friends kind of watch from afar. There's this sort of suburban awkwardness that kind of sets in. You don't see a car coming into the driveway. What do you do? Just
Do you know what kind of car they drive?
Mm-mm.
The van. She's a soccer mom.
I mean, I can go check the couple blocks.
Might be a good idea. And any neighboring soccer fields.
Yeah. It won't take me that long. I'll mess up a couple people's days, but I'll be back. You know where the nearest soccer field is? Anyone?
I'll pull it up on Google.
Yeah, you do. So you pull it up, and give me a notice roll, please. Block scroll. So your screen does something weird. You sort of search, and it loads, and you see this sort of pixelation right around the location, kind of zoomed out on the map, where it says something about Fairfield Soccer Stadium or soccer field.
To be clear, this is a different phone than like the burner.
Mm-hmm.
This is my actual phone.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. It's some sort of pixelation.
Yeah, it's just like
just call her again.
I don't have her number.
it got squished with the burner phone.
Somebody said it. He said it. Don't you remember?
I don't.
You can make a smarts check. Make a smarts check if you would like to remember it. Nope. Well, yeah, actually, no. Wild Die got you. Is it 5?
He does.
Wow. So with oh my God, like with all those raises, tell me, Donovan, what more do you remember about the situation?
Well, what did he tell us about the situation? I remember he told us about the number and that they were going to play soccer, but he didn't really describe the car, did he?
You remember the general content of the conversation? No, he didn't mention anything about a specific kind of car.
I remember they were on their way to the soccer field, and he told her to turn around and go back to the house.
Yes.
So how far away is the soccer field that Block Scroll found on her phone?
It's about 2.5 miles away from here.
So I give him the number,
Okay.
And then point out that soccer field is not very far away. She should have been back long before we got here.
Okay.
Unless she's staying to watch a game.
Perhaps we should go to the soccer field.
Ignored him. I mean, that's probably a good idea.
Do you call the Uber back, or do you just?
Yeah, the Uber was like returning anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's coming back in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, so I think at this point, this has got to become a permanent NPC. And see your gold tooth Uber guy pulls up.
Ham guy in Deadpool.
Yeah. So you basically make your way to the soccer field. It's not far away. I'm going to assume that you more or less, for my sanity's sake, you arrive basically at the same time. So the scene is what you would expect, which is a soccer field full of. It's like a muni league kind of thing, right? So there's like a whole bunch of teams playing, lots of folks with their folding chairs and such, watching these games. So if you look, the fields are basically, so the corners kind of here, they're set out horizontally, right? You guys kind of pull up to the curb, and there's just a lot of whistles tweeting and people running and all this sort of thing. Mordred, give me a notice check. Wow. So maybe it's because you're sensitive. Maybe it's the past of things that you've seen. But as soon as the door to the Uber closes and you kind of coalesce into like this dysfunctional like team walking together with the guy with the really weird neck still sitting in the back seat of the Uber, there's this sort of spot in the sky that looks wrong. It's almost like it's turning. Like the clouds there are starting to kind of almost whirlpool. It's very small just yet, but it catches your eye.
Point it out. What the hell is that?
I mean, it looks like a tornado. I can make one.
Yeah, right.
Anybody have science?
I do.
I do.
Blocks girl, give me
Yes.
wild die. Woo! Did I see that right?
Red Rocket is it?
The dog, yeah.
You know exactly what this is. It's a theoretical thing, but it's some sort of temporal disruption of space-time. There's a vortex opening. You literally almost shit right where you're standing. It's like terrifying to you because you understand the implications of that. It's a tear between two dimensions.
I utter exactly what he just said. And then I shit. I literally shit. Again.
What do you
That's
do?
not good.
So from your perspective, Spectral Avenger, things look a bit different to you. It doesn't look just like the clouds churning. You see this because you're sort of in between places. So you see this sort of vortex, and it almost looks like it's souls sort of kind of shifting, like there's faces, and there's like you can kind of hear this sort of distant calls of spirits or something, because that the science of the supernatural is that it's more a place than you realize, almost like the warp is in say 40K, right? It's the other place that people go to. But nonetheless, you see this, and what it's doing is kind of the sky's darkening, but not like Ghostbusters dark. Right, but it's just kind of getting a little bit cloudy, and you see this vortex kind of starting to churn, and the speed is picking up as you watch.
I pointed out to Henry and help him get a look at it. And it's like, does that mean anything to you?
How do you help him? You go and like pick him up and like let him look out the window or whatever.
Yeah,
you do. Okay,
and
so
not particularly gently.
All right, give me to make sure that you don't injure him further, because he is fucked up. I underscore that. Give me an agility roll. Make sure that you don't. You're not gentle, but you If you fumble,
yeah.
if you fumble, you could cause further injury. Yeah, you're fine. Okay. So you kind of lean him forward. You leave the door open, basically just flatten him out in the seat so he can kind of look out like this. His eyes get huge. They're coming. They're coming. They're coming. Driver, take me away from here. Whatever amount it takes, just take me away from here. And the guy's like, okay. And he starts to drive. Doors open. Henry's hanging partially out. Do you try to stop him, yes or no? Do you let it go?
Just shove him back all the way back in so he's not hanging out.
Okay. You kind of let him fall back in and kind of let the door shut with the motion of the car. But at this point, you notice there's like, pieces of stuff kind of starting to fly around. Like, wind is picking up here. Something is about to happen. You can feel it.
Should find the family quickly.
What do they look like?
Well, I'm guessing Rose is on the field and probably has Bernfinger written on the back of her shirt.
Oh, that's smart. I'll go see if I can
Also
find
call the wife and see who answers their phone.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
So what do you do?
Look for the kid on the field.
Okay. So the trouble here is that there are a lot of kids. You don't know what you're looking for. You're kind of scanning. But these, soccer is a really intense game, or football, depending on where you're watching from. But there's just a lot of running going on. So you're going to have to make a notice roll. You can only make one attempt per round. And you're only going to have about 3 rounds to act before something happens.
I'll look for the girl.
That's going to be, and that's going to be extremely difficult. So that's going to be like a -3.
Okay, so I'll
Won't go
just
as far
roll
as
my
4.
D10.
Hmm?
I have D10 plus 3.
Yeah.
Box Girl, you should call the mother and ask where she's at. We'll look for somebody answering their phone.
There could be 100 phones out there.
Oh, and there are. You can imagine, right? It's just like
everybody's like holding up, videoing their kid and shit.
Yeah. Lots of phones. Although you don't see anyone necessarily, just kind of, on their phone.
Is this a swanky enough soccer game to have an announcer?
No, it is not. In fact, again, most of these people are like up in the trees with their folding chairs and kind of all along this line here with their chairs as well. So kind of where you guys are. So you're kind of walking up behind a whole bunch of miscellaneous, just people kind of sitting there with their koozies of beer. What's that, Tyler?
You could just yell for her.
I'll just get a ref and tell her that there's been like a family emergency and Rose Bernfinger needs to come to her mother.
Okay, you walk up to this ref. Give me a persuasion roll, please. And you look kind of scary, so I'm going to give you a -1.
He doesn't look scary. He's not in armor or anything. Well, fine.
You want to use a Benny or no?
Yeah, how does that work?
Just hit reroll and throw a Benny on the table so that you no longer have that in your pool. Oh, shit. It's literally on the table. I'm going to move it. I'm going to move it over here.
Throw mine on because I spent one night.
Damn it. Stop polluting my shit.
At least I told you.
Yeah, that's true. That is. Yeah, that's fine. I'm sorry. What did you roll a second time around? Still failure?
Yeah.
And who are you, sir?
I'm her cousin. Her uncle's in the hospital.
Her uncle's in the hospital. He kind of looks you over suspiciously. Let me see if I can find her mother. What's your name?
James Smith.
Some of the players in this specific game are sort of stopped and like, what the hell? Because you walked right out onto the field, because refs are usually kind of out and around, right? They're not. And so he blows his whistle and kind of goes over to the other ref and starts saying very loudly. He calls out, Rose Bernfinger! You're getting some attention. So that's this round. However, right about this time, all of these sort of motion and whatnot that you would have expected to kind of happen on the field, eyes start turning upward because this thing is now opening. and it's black inside. Whatever's going on, there's kind of some flashes of light, very quick sort of energy playing around. It's not massive, not the whole sky. This isn't Ghostbusters, but it's large enough that something seems to be about to escape. Red Rocket, what were you doing? You were running around.
I made my really good notice roll to find, what's her name? Rose.
Okay.
I'm going to keep track of her as she runs through her mother.
Okay. So you're hauling ass around.
Because shit's about to freak out.
Yeah.
So.
You're hauling ass around, and you find her way over here by the concession. Right? So, Mordred, you are basically... Who's Mordred? Is that Mordred? I can't really see. It's zoomed in too far. Hang on. I'm sorry. That's better. Mordred, you're kind of up here on the field talking to the refs, getting in the way of their game. Rocket, you are way up here somewhere. You can put yourself where you like to be. It doesn't really matter. And so...
It won't let me move myself.
Hang on. Love it when that happens. This is Rocket. Everybody using roll 20, remember, you better know. You should be.
I don't seem to have control over my character.
I know. Blocks Girl. You should be able to move yourself, Blocks Girl.
Oh, there.
Mordred. If you're using roll 20, always remember to set the ownership on your tokens.
Good.
Okay.
So, does it look like is there a specific field where it looks like this ref is like going to or whatever? Because the ref probably knows which field she's on, I would assume.
You get the sense that might not be the case. That you gave him a name, and there are a lot of kids here. I mean, there's 6 or 7 games going on this field, and they're like kids waiting in the wings. It's like a big recreational.
Yeah,
league. Yeah, it's like that.
I'll look at Bernfinger's in the Uber still, unless he's gotten out and sitting on this curb.
Uber is gone.
Yeah, the Uber's driving away. Yeah.
Oh, with him in it again?
Yep.
He slept like a coward.
Yes, Bernfinger said, "Take me away from here. I'll pay you any amount of money."
Oh, nice. Okay. I'll see if she has a Facebook page. Maybe there's a picture of her in her soccer uniform or something, like her mom's Facebook page or whatever. I know her name.
Yeah, give me a research roll.
Let's see. Research. Yeah, I don't have that. What would that be? Smart?
Yeah, that's smarts. Blocks Girl, Wild Die saves you. So you just instantly stalk and find. And actually, as you bring it up, you're like, we have someone in common. It's an ex-boyfriend. It's really weird. Anyway, yeah, you find her, and you find exactly what she looks like. That's going to take up your round. Ghosty, what are you doing? So you're there kind of surveying the situation.
Yes, I was looking to see if there was any result from Mordred's activity. There's not much I can do other than that.
Okay, so Mordred, you're there, and you're kind of having your conversation. This guy's calling out her name, and he's whistling, and people are starting to notice, but again, eyes then suddenly start being lifted up to whatever the hell's going on in the sky. Then these tendrils of energy just kind of start lashing out as something's happened. It's like something's blinking into existence up there. One said tendril of energy, there's this boy, and he's there dabbing and doing like ridiculous TikTok dances, and it just like and obliterates him into ash. Yet another one comes down and strikes the concession stand, sets the roof on fire. People are like, oh, and start going crazy. As then suddenly, these flying fellas on these little flying skateboards, which look somewhat familiar, right? I'm on the right layer. That's impressive artwork. Thug with a pawn. All right. You guys can see that, right? Yeah. Okay. Sadly, I didn't quite have enough time to do my full.
There it is.
Yeah. There we go. So you kind of hear this as these guys dressed all in black with, again, the weird headgear and all this sort of stuff just kind of comes down. And then rocketing down from above, I got to go find him on the GM layer here. Standing at about 12 to 15 feet tall or so is this thing. So this big sort of robotic silvery things just kind of rockets coming out of its feet as it hovers down. What do you guys do?
You want to do
Suit
turn
up.
order or?
Yep.
I'm gonna make my way over to Rose.
Okay. So you run over to Rose. So a lot of the kids are just kind of scurrying away at this point. Rose is looking up with her eyes just like, oh, and you see what would appear to be, maybe it's her mom, kind of running against the tide of people running away from the field, running into the situation. And you hear her going, Rosie! Rosie! Come on! She screams. Go ahead.
To move in that direction if I notice all that.
Yep. All right. So we are going to now deal some initiative cards. Ooh, this thug's got a joker, which is interesting. And Mordred, you've got a joker. So remember what that means is you get to act whenever you want. And I seem to recall it does something else for you. It's like a +2.
I forgot how to roll initiative.
You
If
don't.
somebody
It's
else
cards.
can do that.
It's cards. You're good. So first and foremost, the
I only
Joker's...
see the bad guys in the turn order.
Really?
Yeah, that's all I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at all you guys
Same.
in the turnover.
All I see is the 3 bad guys. Or the 4 bad guys.
Don't know why. On the play, you know what's interesting? On the player view, I see the same, but I'm looking at you guys in the turn order. I see all of you. Like you've got you have a 10 of spades, Byron.
Okay.
So,
I drew a card, but it didn't appear anywhere. in the
Yeah, you
turn.
don't draw my deal, and I'm going to remove all the turns. Let's just see if we can get roll 20 to cooperate here. So it should be empty at this point.
It is.
It is empty.
So I'm going to add turns for these folks. Now you should see bad guys.
Yep. With no cards.
Yep. And go find you guys. Most of you added you in.
There we go.
There we
that
are.
looks better.
Interesting.
Now we're there.
Interesting.
Don't see myself.
Yeah, and I had to go find you up on the top of the map. Okay. All right, so now you're there. I will recall all the initiative cards.
I'm in there twice.
Yeah, I'm in there twice too.
Everyone is in there except for me.
See, I don't know.
I'm still
Roll
not
20.
in there, but you added them all again.
Oh, that's weird. That's weird.
That's fair.
Yeah, that was probably my palsy clicking. All right, I'm going to add... Sorry.
One more time.
Sorry. Red
And today
Rocket.
on Myth Brigade, we're going to show you exactly
there.
how to use the Savage Worlds Initiative system.
As slowly as
You don't know what's
possible.
going on.
All right, so apparently have to. You can't just go select an alternative group. You have to first unselect. All right, so everybody should be in there.
Hey!
Yes, now it looks right.
Okay, fine. I'm going to deal some initiative
Except for
cards.
nobody has an extra. Oh, okay.
Right, I'm going to deal some initiative cards. And so sorry that you don't had your jokers there. Sorry about that. My bad.
Sure.
Yeah. All right.
That's okay, because the one bad guy didn't get a Joker either.
Yeah. Okay. So, Thug 1 is going to act first. So that, just so you guys know, that's this guy. So you can call him Thug 1. He likes to be called T1 or just 1 sometimes. But he actually is surveying the scene. He doesn't seem to know exactly what he's after. But you can see that he's got this sort of lens over one eye, and it's attached to some kind of contraption that's mounted to his head, almost like Lobot, right, from, what was that, Empire Strikes Back? And he is surveying the crowd and just flying along. So he's going to be doing that. And he is going to make Why is the character sheet not loading? There it goes.
Nothing's working.
Yeah, I know. That wasn't me. He is going to try to make himself a notice check. And he will fail. I'm not going to spend a Benny on that. He doesn't have a Benny because he is a extra. Moving next, crazy big robot thing. It basically kind of lands right here with a thud. And kind of looking across the crowd, there's a couple of parents running, and you see it just goes with these laser eyes, cuts this guy's legs off as he's in mid-run, and then actually pops a soccer ball with the same shot. And you see him then start scanning and looking around as well, trying to sort out what his next target might be. So he's landed. That was his move from a vertical spot, being way up there by the vortex, which is still open. Spectral Avenger, you're next. What do you do?
Do I have any idea where Rose and her mother are? Did I see that happening?
I don't think it's possible.
Okay.
Just because of how far you are away and the chaos on the field, there's no way.
How far can I move in a single action?
It is, so basically it's like 6 squares, double that, if you want to move and still act. Unless you have special movement that extends your move.
I
like-
don't, but
okay.
I'm basically just going to charge across the field as rapidly as I can, close distance between me and the bad guys, and keep an eye out for wherever Rose and her mother are at.
Okay, are you invisible or no? Like, can people see you?
Not invisible. People can see me, but I'm transparent.
Okay. So I have to think that. Tell me what that looks like. The camera is in the middle of the field watching you move, and there are kids running back and forth. Why don't you tell the stream what that's like as you move along? Because again, you bring that chill with you as well as a ghost.
Yes. So, is it a bright day or?
At this point, no. It's going to be kind of like a London sky because of the whole clouds forming above. But it was sunny before, so kind of like a rainy day at this point.
Donovan looks very much like a man in a nice suit, as he looked when he was killed, except that you can see through him. And when he's moving quickly, he sort of has this effect of half running, half gliding across the ground, as if he maybe doesn't even really need to run to move that quickly. And of course, there's a chill that emanates from him everywhere. And if it's a humid enough day, there might actually be a little bit of fog around him.
So how is everybody reacting to him as he passes through certain people and that kind of thing? Like, are people like, oh, and is it adding to the chaos, do you think?
Oh, if he passes through people, or if people pass through him, they are also going to get a light coating of ectoplasm. So I would imagine anybody that does that is going to be particularly freaked out.
Yes. So we picture this has happened. It's like this girl's running like, and the camera sees her face like, and then you go like through her back and come out her front as you're running into the situation. The way movement works, just so to refresh us all because it's been forever, is you have your base pace on your character sheet, and then you can roll a d6 to determine how much further you can go when you're running. That's a free action, right? And then, unless you have special movement rules like Rocket does. Anyway, so you move. Where do you move to, Spectral Avenger?
I think I already moved my
Did you?
token about
Okay,
12
good.
squares.
Okay, that's fine. Red Rocket, you're next. So you are sort of up here, right? Where'd you move to? Where'd you go?
Top left middle.
Well, I can't see you. I'll trust
He's
you.
over
there.
by the concession stand.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're way over there. Never mind. Sorry, I got my map zoomed in. What do you do? You're up next.
So I'm gonna. I had a super good notice roll, so I'm gonna run right over to Rose.
Okay.
And her mom, because they're kind of running together now. Is what you're saying.
Yep.
Or she's at least running towards.
Absolutely.
I'm just gonna run right over to him. This is gonna be weird, but I'm with Henry. Come on, go that way.
Give me a okay. Give me a So funny. This is gonna be weird. I picture like a Bobcat Goldthwait moment. Yeah. So go ahead and give me a persuasion roll. -1, please.
I don't have any persuasion. So what would it be?
Spirit.
Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Did not work. Roll.
Ooh. So there's this moment, right, where it's almost like that wild die just absolutely did you
Save
good,
my
right?
fucking life.
But your eyes, you do that like puppy dog eyes thing to the girl and the mom, and there's like the camera zooms in, and you're there like your tongue sticking out, and you're like, this is gonna sound weird, but and your eyes are like, whoa, and they're both like, Henry, Dad, and then what? You just haul ass somewhere?
I'm going to, but I'm going to tell them to head to the like right side of the field and use the trees for cover and just run.
The right side over by the big scary robot?
I mean, I'm looking at it as they're running away, so the left side.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, so like, she gets confused. You say something like, "Go to the right," and she kind of looks to her right. She happens to be facing toward the concession stand, which is what I was picturing. But anyway, yeah.
No, the other way, towards the cars.
She
Your
nods.
other right.
Come on, Rosie. Come on. She takes her hand and they start to run. At that point, it's almost like you know, kind of switching personas, right? You hear this staticky thing, right? The scene changes, and you're seeing the field from the view of this robot, which has this weird thermal vision, and you hear this like, "Come on, Rosie," and then you see this thing turns its head and is like, takes a step that direction. Block Scroll, you're up next.
Oh fuck!
You still have actually,
I have a lot
you still
of
have time to move. I was gonna say you got a lot of movement. Your action
I have
would have been
extra
the dialogue.
actions and movement, so
What are you
I'm
doing?
actually going to run over to Bad Guy 1, the one that's closest to me.
Okay, he is in the sky.
I know.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do my whirlwind.
Okay. Okay.
It's he must make a strength roll or be sucked into a mental whirlwind and thrown into the air. So he's already in the air, so
Yes.
he's going to be thrown further.
Okay. I think it might throw him off of his device, which would be unfortunate. Okay, so you move over where? You move over to this guy here?
Yep.
Go ahead and move yourself over there, just so I don't lose track of it. Come on, roll 20. Let's just pop this character sheet out and leave it open so that I don't have to wait for this low-ass internet.
I roll a 1.
All right, sorry about that. So he's going to make you said a strength roll?
Strength
Okay.
with -2.
Did that come through? No, it didn't.
It did not.
So he has snake eyes, which means that I can't even use a Benny to save him. So Red Rocket, he's in the middle of a turn when this happens. You tell me what happens to him. This is your kill.
So I run over and just start running in circles as fast as I can, just ooh, and then all of a sudden the whirlwind picks up and his cool robotic skateboard shoots all the way off in the opposite direction, kind of like straight through the trees into somebody's house,
and and just knocks off a bunch of their shingles.
It's like hits into their shingles.
It's like
and
an
the dude
Allstate
kinda
commercial.
flies backwards towards the giant robot.
Yes. So he
Kind of
actually
send them in opposite directions.
Yeah, he's gonna hit the ground. Give me a D6 roll,
goes-
please.
D10 feet away. 3.
D10 fits. That's really only 3, but that's 3 horizontally, and he's hauling ass. So you got to get into some physics there. Give me a D6 roll because I want to figure out how bad he gets hurt when he hits the ground. Only 1.
Not a lot.
So, by some odd twist of fate, as he's spiraling like a rag doll through the air, he happens to just kind of skid along the ground. So he's not out, but he is down for the moment, and I'm going to say that he's shaken, which means he'll have to unshake next round. before he can really act. You said you have extra actions. What else are you doing?
I'm going to run back over to Rosen.
Okay. You go create this havoc and then back over there. So there's still a little bit of a time elapse there. So these are kind of overlapping just a little. Blocks Girl, you're up next. What are you doing? So you can kind of see the world.
And I move myself back.
Okay.
So Blocks Girl will transform into a black horse made of Lego blocks, which will increase her pace to 12. So adding, I did a roll and then spent a penny to add to my roll. So that's using Blocks Girl's movement. So supplementing it will lose me 15, putting me where I am now on the map in the shape of a Lego blocks horse.
Lego blocks horse. So there's this kind of thing that happens. And just so everybody knows, so Byron's character actually accidentally turned herself into a Lego creature. She can change into things, and she gains modes of movement and other things. Last episode, she ate a person as a pink hippopotamus, which is really good.
Hey, Jason.
Yes.
Not to interrupt, but when do free actions take place?
It depends. So free actions are more or less the same as in like sort of D&D, where you could sort of like you could drop a weapon, you could if within reason, you could shout a warning. It's just quick actions kind of things. There's no real reasonable limit, although at a certain point it gets silly. So you just use your best judgment there.
Yep, cool. Thank you.
Yep, no worries. Okay, so Blocks, what, is that you're good to go? You've transformed into this thing. You're moving all that way. People are really freaking straight the fuck out right now. If you think about what just happened, you got a ghost sliming people. You've got this crazy horse. Size-wise, it has to be based roughly your same mass, right?
No, I can go up to 2 tons.
Oh my god. Okay. So
and actually, I can turn into swarms too. Get up to large glass templates of swarms, so I can turn into like butterflies, things that fly, whatever.
Okay.
I'm not really restricted that much.
Nice. So you're running.
This has to be an animal. I can't turn into an inanimate object.
Got it. So you're running along as this black horse. Mordred, you're up next. What do you do?
I suited up when Henry recognized the stuff and ran away. So summon my ride again and then full charge at the giant robot.
Okay. So just on the vehicle?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk mounted combat. Do you know how that works? I don't know how that works.
I don't know.
Mounted combat's on page 103. Why don't we find out? So you're on a motorcycle. Fucking hilarious. Characters fighting from horseback or other strange beasts, which your motorcycle will qualify as that, have certain advantages and disadvantages. So your mount doesn't get an action card, which, okay. Characters who wish to fight from horseback or whatever must use the lowest of their fighting or riding skills. So whichever one of those is lower, you have to use that when you're attacking. This makes it important for cavalryman to actually be able to ride well, right? So that makes sense. If you become shaken, stunned, or wounded while mounted, then you got to make a riding roll or fall, and then you take damage. And that's about it for now. And your vehicle could get damaged as well. So otherwise, I think that the damage and stuff is roughly the same. Seems like you should get more. I'm going to say you're going to do plus... Wait. I'm going to say you're going to get plus 2 to damage for now. There's some charging rules that you can set your weapon and other stuff, but I think that's a little heavy for right now. So you're going to hauling ass. Full speed? Head that direction?
Yeah.
Okay. And why don't you give me your attack roll using riding or... fighting, whichever is lower. Nice. So you've got a 4, which will hit. Now, this thing is large. So as you're kind of cruising in, it's not even noticing you, but its head turns very slowly. What are you trying to do? You're trying to chop its leg off or something with your sword? How's that working?
If it was like reaching out, I'd go for the arm, the head, if not.
Okay. Give me your damage roll. Holy
Good
sh-
fucking
For
God.
fuck's sake! Wow. Okay. Let's 5d6, huh?
James, you really got to send us those like roll 20 hacks that you've been putting in.
That was a 2-1.
Yeah. No, it
Yes,
wasn't
yes,
natural.
yes,
It was a bunch of. So that's a bunch of aces. So you actually are gonna cause a wound to this thing. Surprisingly enough, first shot in. So normally you would just make it shaken. It will be shaken, but you will also do one wound as a result of this massive blow. As you kind of come up, you just slice a giant gouge in its leg, and it reacts though surprisingly as if maybe it might have felt it. More so than even just a machine would sense damage. It's and kind of looks down with this like sort of War of the Worlds horn sound, right? That ominous horn sounds out of its back as it summons energy to kill you. What are you going to do after that? I guess movement would have got you there in your one attack, right? You don't have multiple attacks.
Yeah.
Okay. So seeing this. This thug basically moves his mechanical skateboard around and is basically coming in on your blind side and is going to attempt to fire his weapon at you.
It's still like at speed too. It wasn't like just getting up there and stopping. It was.
Yes. So if you think of the sequence, basically you're kind of like, this guy realizes as you're approaching and almost kind of comes around. It's not like he's been hovering there, like waiting his turn or something, like he's moving it. So he just kind of turns the nose, the pointy end of his skateboard toward you and lets loose a bunch of these.
The attacks are at -2.
Okay. Oh, so you hear this sort of, and there's bits of grass and turf kind of blowing up as you're, kind of next to you, and it's like like a war movie or something as this thing kind of crosses paths with you, and moves off into the distance. The next thug is out here, and he also seems to be very interested in something over this direction, but it is more the weird mechanical horse. I'm going to give him a spirit check. He holds it. He doesn't actually. I'm sorry. These guys don't get a wild die, so he does not hold it together. As he sees you kind of tromping forward, he seems completely confused and just moving closer. He's not sure if he wants to fire yet or not. The other thug is going to try to unshake. Where's that on this character sheet? Hello. Oh, there it is. You see the unshake roll coming through? There it goes. Nice. Okay, so this thug can act. He gets up and draws his weapon, but he's looking around to try to figure out what it was that even caused him to fall down when Mordred just kind of goes hauling ass. So he takes a pot shot at Mordred, but it's going to be at -4 for him because of his situation.
Oh.
I don't know what this roll to unshake situation was over there. I already did. Never mind. I see they automated that. Okay. So anyway, so he does actually, Mordred, hit you, believe it or not.
They don't get wild die. Did he still succeed?
Yeah, he rolled a 9. So if you look what happened, so just to rewind, I had marked him as shaken on the sheet, and it senses, right, that you're shaken, but I didn't, even though I succeeded with my first roll, it didn't take that off. So what you see there is the thug made a shooting roll after rolling to unshake and being successful, which means he can act right away.
The roll to unshake was his spirit roll of 1.
Oh my God.
And then he had a 5 on the wild die.
You are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Is that the same? 1 wild 4. Okay, no, that's right. So he is, you know what, let me turn him on to a, good catch. So he actually and just shoots off in the distance. He's still out of his gourd. Moving on to Big Scary Robot, who is not out of his gourd. Big Scary Robot is going to attempt to reach as you kind of pass by. He's going to attempt to shoot you with his eyeball laser cannon. You said that's at -2, James?
Yeah.
Oh. Loading character sheet. Roll20 is really slow tonight.
I think your internet is having issues.
Is it?
You're showing red most of the time when you're talking in Zoom, and the Twitch stream keeps dying.
Well,
I have
that'll
to
do
keep
it.
resetting it regularly.
That'll do it. So, no dice. So this critter basically turns, and as his eye laser sweeps to try to hit the back of the motorcycle, you kind of sweep up into the trees. And of course, these big kind of pillars of laser just basically tear into the trees, setting fires, and actually a couple trees fall down as a result. But you are not hit. Which brings us all the way back to Spectral Avenger. What do you do?
How does the distance thing work in Savage Worlds? Like everything has a distance in inches.
Yeah, think of it
Like
as
a range
you're
of
basically
inches.
one is a square. That's the easiest way to think of
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but is that a yard or an inch? Like, what is it considered? Like,
The level of precision
1
is
inch is
technically
1
inches.
square.
Yeah, just think of 1 inch as one square. The easiest conversion, roughly 5 feet.
So
It's
is that like a
6
yard?
feet.
Okay, 5 feet.
yeah,
So
6 feet but 5, whatever. Just the standard square.
because like some things like template wise are like in yards. So I was trying
Mm-hmm.
to figure out like what that would be.
Yes, and this is probably don't have the grid dialed down quite small enough, but again, I was running late, so.
So I can move like 6 and still act, right?
Yeah, you can actually, yes, you can do your running thing if you need to and act. It's just your actions are at -2. So
I don't need to do my running thing if I can move 6.
okay.
So I'm just going to close the distance to there, which puts these 2 thugs within range of my mind control.
Okay. So I'm going to assume this one's, you had this movement thing. So actually, let me just update these. So I'm trying to think this one's flying.
Sure.
So they'll be a little closer than you would expect because, they're not sitting still, buzzing around and whatnot.
Oh, that's still close enough. So they get an opposed spirit roll.
That one was fantastic. Let's do spirit roll for the thug. Ooh, nice. So did you get 2? Did you roll twice? Because you were trying to hit them both, right? With this mind control thing?
Yeah, do I roll twice? Let me
Or
see.
do you not? Maybe you don't. Okay, so
I don't know. It doesn't say, so I guess I can just.
yeah, let's just assume it's going to affect up to 2 targets on one roll. So you're going to get the second one for sure.
I rolled the wrong thing, but it's the same die. Okay, it's a smarts roll,
Okay. We'll take it.
but it's the same die. For
I can
my
edit that
character.
out later
Okay,
in
so for
post.
the second one,
Just one roll's fine. I think
Okay, just one roll.
yeah, because it's one use of the power, right? That gets up to 2 targets.
yes, 'cause I
you
added a
get one.
modifier for an additional target.
Yeah, so you get one. What are you trying to do? You reach out with your mind, connect to his.
Destroy the giant robot.
So you sense this sudden fear and confusion, and it happens to be this one. So I'm going to put that one in your control, which I should be able to do in a minute, apparently. And then what? Are you going to move, attack? You're just going to see what happens on his turn?
I'm gonna have him. I want him to attack it.
Okay. So on his turn,
Presumably, he's going to do better. Which one? I have control
it
of him?
is. I don't think you do. So
No, I don't have
no.
control of either of them. So presumably, they're going to do better at close range. So I'm going to have him close the range and attack the robot.
Controlled by. Not James P. Where are you, Eric? There you are. Okay, I got that. What did you say?
I have him close the distance a bit and fire at the robot.
Okay, he will do that on
So
his turn.
presumably, he's going to do better with, at closer range.
Yep, he'll do that on his turn. So, Red Rocket. You have
yeah,
run all the
I'm
way
kinda
across
just
the field.
I'm running with our family.
Okay,
The
so
family.
do you lead them away from the scene? Is that what you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
As quickly as they can get away, I'll stay with them. And then as soon as they're basically in the parking lot away,
Ignore that.
yeah, as soon as I get them away, I'll give them an address or tell them to go back to their house, and we'll meet them there.
Okay. So you proceed to do that, and check one thing. Okay, so you see, you know, kind of running along in there. Well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
I gotta go help my friends.
They sort of nod and not even knowing how to react to this. They just, come on, Rosie, and they go running toward the parking lot. You happen to catch that they're running toward what would appear to be a very nice sort of hybrid SUV. Probably a little too nice for a Best Buy, department manager to own. What do you do after that?
I will run. So I get an extra 2 actions. So can I split my movement, or do I have to make one move?
No, you can split your movement. What do you like? Move some, act some, and then move a little more.
Yeah.
Depending on what you're trying to do, yeah.
I'm gonna run over to the same guy and whirlwind him again, since he's still there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to. I'll just kind of do this. I'm gonna whirlwind him twice. Fuck him.
And what's your that would take you? You would have to run to do that, correct?
No.
To get that far?
I have a pace of 576.
Oh God. Okay. So you just like, yeah. You roll up right next to him and start doing your whirlwind. He gets a strength check, correct?
-2, yes sir.
-2. Damn. Yeah. So he's kind of you run up. He's grappling at the turf. He gets 2 big handfuls of turf and winds up getting thrown yet again. How far away? So another. So basically off into these bushes here, and he's just like, poor guy sits up and is trying to get back into the combat and just kind of gets flung off to the side yet again. You're a little bit dizzy, but you shake it off. And you do a final move?
Yeah, I'm going to move over. Yeah, I'm going to be dumb. I'm going to move over here. And so as a free action, I'm going to do Protector. And I could split up my parry with James to give him some of mine. So I'll give him an extra 4.
Tell me how you do that. Are you nipping at this thing's ankles or what? Like how is that manifested?
As it kind of like swings at him or uses this laser, I kind of like bump him, going really fast. So I just kind of like shove him out of the way.
Okay. So you're just kind of running around, like kind of bouncing and jumping and kind of bump into him. So that happens, as he's, well, actually, Mordred would have moved beyond, would you not have? So, because he's on his motorcycle, remember? He's going really fast, right?
I forgot he was on his motorcycle.
Yeah.
So I would not do that because it's really dumb for me to be there and him not to.
Yes.
So I'll run over here. Just back.
2 over.
Out of the way.
Okay. So you just kind of, taking stock of what's going on. You kind of actually, stop your spin and run off to the side. Block Scroll's up next. What did you do? So you're galloping forward as this big horse.
So I am going to move to here. So you said it's 5 feet, so 12 yards diameter would be.
So again, consider half that just because of the way I have the squares drawn. Because if I'm looking at this as soccer field size,
right. So 3 each way would be about.
Yeah, that feels a little better.
So that's still 3. That's not 3 though. Okay. So I am going to move to there, and I'm going to basically use my ensnare ability to basically handcuff these two guys together so that turn them into a parabola.
The one guy is under control of Jim.
Well, that's okay. The other guy will just be chained to him, and it's okay.
Yeah, and you would have no idea anyway. Like, that's not something he announces or anything. So
okay.
So basically, I'm going to make a Lego block chain between these two. And it can do a large blast template, so that's 12-yard diameter. So I can get both these guys that are near me. And I am going to basically ensnare them by locking them together.
Are you in the middle, or do you become that? Do you become that construct?
No, I just create that.
Okay,
just like create that. It's a different power.
Give me that roll. That's pretty fantastic. Do you have to? Is there a to hit? I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's +2 to grapple attack to get them. It's a fighting roll, and then what it says is victim is bound, suffers -2 pace. Skills, agility, and strength raised cannot take actions except for trying to escape. Rolls are at -4 strength or agility due to the strength of the bindings.
So I think that's intended for a single target, but it gets every target individually.
I paid for it to be able to affect anybody in a blast, large blast. So with a large blast, I can affect 4 opponents.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say that the complication of getting them, because I would picture that as like entangle almost, where you would get sort of everybody individually wrapped up in something. Connecting them while they're moving is going to impose a difficulty of -2, because they're both flying, and it's going to be pretty spectacular if it works.
Let's say so.
Thug nunchucks.
Yeah, basically.
So if I throw one of them, the other one will go with it.
So that didn't actually do anything.
Yeah, that's weird.
It didn't actually roll anything. So let's see here. Go back to my fighting. Some of these powers don't do well. So.
Yeah, you would do like you make your power roll. Yeah, that's better. So your wild die gets you there. -2 though would be 3, so that would still be a fail. You can use a Benny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got extra. Why not? I'll reroll that.
Oh, so you get the one. Not the one, you kind of, it sort of, I picture it snares this one here, the one to your left. And then as it's whipping out to get this other guy, something suddenly happens and he just sort of is doing his U-turn to go back toward the bad guy. And it falls just short, but wraps around and takes full effect on this guy who is trying like hell to fly his skateboard. So I'm going to give him an agility roll to try to stay on it. How is that wrapped around him, Byron?
It's basically like manacles is what I turn it into. So
okay.
It's basically manacles on him with a chain that's now attached to nothing. So he's whipping around. He's whipping around this 12-yard Lego chain.
Yes.
12 yards of leg is probably heavy.
So he basically is for now out of commission as this thing's kind of dragging along. He's sort of flying off this direction. Think of like a biker scout, right? Going full speed on his little kind of, skateboard, flying through the air at a downward angle as well. So next round, if he doesn't succeed, he's just going to plummet into the ground at full speed.
That'll be worth it.
Any move, or are you gonna? You already moved, didn't you?
I already moved.
Okay.
Yes.
Mordred, you're up next. What do you do?
Loop back around on the bike and hop off in motion. Let the bike just go off and fight him on the ground.
Okay, so you jump off and run up to him. Are you going to? You have enough move to do your U-turn and such and make an attack? Would you have had to run? Would be my question. I guess. I don't think so.
No.
Okay. So you can use your free move and attack at regular. 5. So that is in fact enough to hit. 4 always hits. So you kind of approach this thing and, again, it's like 12, 13 feet tall, something like that. Huge construct, beefy metal thing. You do hit.
Face the bite of Clarent again.
You call out to this thing. Give me your damage. And it is...
Holy fuck!
Oh! So, again, this takes it back to... it was already shaken, wasn't it?
It already took a wound, yeah.
Yeah, and took a wound. You're right. So at this point, it is going to try to soak some damage.
Other than time. Put in your game other than time.
Where is it? Hang on. Character sheet's loading again. There we go. Ah, nice. So wild die saving him. So he actually is going to soak. This would actually be like 2 wounds at this point, though. So he remains shaken. It lurches backward as you drive your sword into it at this point, carving out this kind of metal, and it is unable to respond because it is in fact still shaken. I'm going to spend a Benny to unshake. I didn't expect you guys to... There we go. So this thing shakes, sort of lurches in its stance, Mordred, as you drive your sword through it, and kind of looks up and then shakes its head, and you hear this kind of this deep metal groan as it is going to, on its turn, try to destroy you. Any move, or are you going to stay engaged with it this close?
I'm right there.
Okay. This thing is, sparking. You can smell the smoke kind of coming out of the holes that you've created.
Does it hurt, Tin Man?
So this guy, this thug over here gets his agility roll. Let's see if he holds it together or if he crashes his... It's my thug sheet. Thug sheet. Ugh. I think it is my internet. It's kind of bad. Sad. All right. So, you picture this this thug cruising in. He is bound and unable to do much of anything. He's still holding his gun, and he uses just his lower body and is able to just barely bring it up enough, but he skids on the dirt and continues in this straightforward pattern. Byron, how long does this last, and what is his subsequent opportunity to get out? Is it a strength roll or something?
You're muted, Dad.
It doesn't really give me like a duration, so I'm not really sure what that is. See here, if you can give me any kind of ideas as to what that would be. Target is strength or agility -2 to break free.
Okay.
If he gets a raise, it allows him to break free and act.
Okay. So let's.
But I'm not really sure about duration. I'm not sure how to figure that out.
I'm going to say, since it's a physical construct, maybe there isn't one, unless it's actually destroyed. I guess that makes sense, doesn't it? It's not like it's magical or something, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, however magical or blocks would come into existence.
So let's see if he can break out. Why don't we hit the strength button a few more times? Oh, no, not at all. And so, as he's trying, so his snake eyes, or worse, basically, he just continues on and on. This thug, what does he do? So you've got him turned around now, Donovan. So you've turned him around, and you kind of are feeling his thoughts. There's this dread as you're looking through his eyes as he's flying toward this robot that's kind of squaring off with your buddy. What do you have him do?
Open fire on the robot.
Okay. You call it open fire on the robot, at which point he opens fire using his skateboard lasers, as it were. sadly, just strafing along toward the robot. Does not manage to hit, unfortunately. However, he does fly straight over Mordred's head, just like you feel the sort of weird gravitic distortion as it flies on this direction here and starts to kind of make another run. Mordred, as far as you know, you're being strafed, right? You would have no idea that this guy's under control. The thug in the bushes will remain in the bushes, and that brings us back to the robot, who is going to now attempt, please, to shoot Mordred. Is he at a disadvantage? I don't think he is right now.
No.
Nope. So he leans down and with these crazy eye beams absolutely does hit you, but with reasonably stupid damage. What's your toughness?
I got armor.
What's your toughness and armor together? Because I know you're wearing a helmet
on here. Or is it vigor?
No, toughness is at the top in the middle, sort of toward the right of the middle column, underneath your basic height, weight, and
underneath
stuff.
your name and stuff. Yeah.
Yep, it's right underneath your name where your pace and parry and all that is.
6 and armor 14.
Well, Jesus. So yeah, you soak it. As he blasts down, I picture this moment where it's like this lance of laser coming down, and you're just like, oh, and you can feel the heat, and it's driving you down. It's not like it just is like no effect, and like literally drives ruts down into the ground as you're kind of pushing back against it.
The armor gets a bit of a glow from the heat.
Yes, absolutely. It is growing. Spectral Avenger, you are up next. It is not going to move. It's going to stay right here and continue to.
So the guy to the left is bound. He's not going anywhere.
The guy with the
correct?
green dot. Can you see the green dot on him?
The
guy to
with
the
green
left.
dot
Yeah,
is the
this guy's bound.
farthest up on the map. He's the one
Yeah,
under my
let
control.
me see. There's a good. I'll put that on him.
So I'm talking about the one that blocks girl.
Yeah, this guy.
Ensnared. Yeah. He's not moving. He's not going anywhere. He's not a threat.
He is not a threat. He is moving, but he's flying along, kind of doing this with his wrists, trying to get loose.
Okay. And the guy in the bushes has lost his skateboard, so he's probably not a threat?
Correct. He is getting back up, but at this moment, he's not a threat.
Okay. So I am going to move in this direction. C6 to the left to close the distance with this guy in case he becomes a threat.
Okay.
And I'm going to project telepathically to all of my companions. I have one of the skateboard people under my control. He's attacking the robot.
Okay. I'm gonna.
Can I reply using this?
No, you can't.
No.
Yeah, that's all.
You can. You can.
It's like Twitter.
You wouldn't know, but
Yeah.
I won't hear it. So I can communicate with friends and allies via mental contact as a free action within 1 mile.
Yep. So you get your free action. So you move that direction. Although again, he's flying through the air and he's kind of just skidded off the ground by the goal. And so he's moving away from you at a rate that you would have to maintain a solid run, and then some to keep up.
I'm presuming at some point he's going to veer towards the bottom because where's the parking lot at?
There's parking lot all the way around it, but effectively the biggest bunch of parking is to the left. But where you guys came in,
okay, let me rephrase. Where is Rose running to?
So
which
left,
direction would he be heading?
To the west. If the map, assuming a map north, right? Up is north.
Okay, to the left.
Yep, to the left.
All right. Well, at the moment, I just want to keep him within range. I don't necessarily want to do anything to him.
Okay. So he'll slide out of range, but if he should turn around and come back, then very likely he'd be in range, right? He'd approach again if he came in from the west, if he's turning around. Seems more like he's literally just trying to hold his shit together, though. Red Rocket, you are up next. So
All right.
what are you doing?
Go ahead. I'm gonna get all excited that I have a new play toy. This guy that's over here.
Okay.
And I'm gonna come whirlwind him.
Okay. So keep in mind, you're think of this as like he's flying a jet board, and so you have to like to catch up to him. So you do,
Okay.
but this carries you guys. I mean, if you're just thinking of like time and movement, it carries you way the hell over here by the time you catch up to him, and start your whirlwind. Thinking, yeah, go ahead, make your roll. I'm gonna give him.
He gets strength at -2.
Yep, I'm gonna give him a little bit worse because his arms are bound. He can't really do much, right? So I just picture him like trying to hold on for dear life, but that's not happening. Why is he showing as distracted? Oh, I see.
He wasn't ready to fly in inclement weather.
Hang on, I'm just testing something. That's sorry. I'll take the 1. I'm just trying to see if it fixes it. Okay, that fixes it. Still, I'll take the 1. So he has no way. He's just there, and he's trying to resist. He feels the board going crazy, and it starts to spin and get sucked up into this vortex and shot straight up. He then falls down. Give me a D6 roll, please. With his bound hand. So he just crumples to the ground. It doesn't hurt him terribly. It's like a fall from a second-story building, but he just lands with a thud, still wrapped up and ensnared in these Lego blocks. He is now shaken, and will not offer very much.
So I'm gonna finish my turn by going to check on Rose.
Okay. So yeah, I sort of picture this, you kind of spin and then just haul ass out of that while the guy's falling behind you. He's still in the air.
Not
falling.
paying attention to him at all. After he got hit, I don't care.
You see the car hauling ass out of the parking lot. And as will happen when these things go on in soccer fields, there are cops coming. And it looks like there's a helicopter off in the distance coming this general direction as well.
Okay.
Sounds like it anyway. Block Squirrel. What do you do, horsey?
So this guy up above by Jim's guy is just in the bushes. What is he doing over there?
As far as you know, yeah, he's been thrown up into the bushes, and he is now standing, surveying what's going on. And as you check him out, you're not sure if he's ready to engage or not. He seems like he's a little tentative.
Just gonna kind of charge over there and then like mule kick him.
So you're kind of charging toward him. Give me actually, I'm gonna give me an intimidation roll.
I'm not good at intimidation. Not at all. I actually take a negative.
Never. Yeah. No, I wouldn't give you.
I would try to see what my negative is here. -1. 2 persuasion. What would it be? Intimidate? I don't have intimidate, so I'm just gonna roll persuasion. Would be the same, I guess.
Okay.
Or no, it'd be unskilled, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not very intimidating at all. I got a 0.
Nice. So you're running toward him. He doesn't run. He seems more in disbelief. As you're
That's good.
Yeah, you're just sort of charging in. Give me that kick roll. Give me a
He'd be very unprepared for me to mule kick him.
Yeah, give me that fighting check as you kind of come in and pirouette around. Oh, Jesus.
Oh!
So give me that damage roll, please.
All right.
And
So I'm trying to figure out how to do the damage.
Yeah, so
because
let me think. How many raises did you get there? Is that... Yeah, it's 1. It's 42. So here's the way this works. Success is you sort of hit, you apply your base damage. If you get a raise, then the character automatically suffers a wound on the damage roll. So basically, you'll make the damage roll. Fighting actually gives you, let me see, bonus damage, which is 1d6. So you will roll your damage roll and then add 1 more d6 to it.
All right, so I can't use the damage on my character because it's different as a horse.
Yes, I suppose it is.
So I'm kind
Go to the
of
left.
making some die rolls here.
Let me do. I don't know.
Add those two together.
Jesus.
12.
12. So that's going to put him at wound status, which because he's an extra means he's at dead status. So you kick him, you kind of full run, you spin and kick with your back feet. The whole while he's got this look on his face like, right? Like, what the hell is this Lego horse thing? You impact with him and he hits the tree and is impaled on a branch that's kind of sticking out, and he's still got that look on his face, like, but blood starts to dribble out of his mouth as he twitches and dies as a result of your kick.
I think it worked out better that he was not intimidated because it just left him staring at his face.
Yes, he did run away. So he is now.
Now you're the murderer, not Mordred.
Speaking of murderers and Mordred, you're up. What do you do?
Murder.
Do you? But is murdering a robot really? Murder?
We got
You're going to need a mechanic.
Nice. Give me a roll. Ooh, just does. So you hit. No raises though, so you get your straight damage.
Horrific as it is.
God. It doesn't.
So at this
It
moment,
doesn't stop.
at this moment, this huge
A lot of sixes.
Yes, Jesus. So yeah, you're actually going to take my last Benny. He's going to try to soak some damage here. Keep himself alive.
Oh!
No, wait. I rolled the wrong one. I'm sorry. Sorry. I'm not sorry.
Aw.
I'm happy. I'm happy. I'll try.
I was so excited.
Sorry. Oh, only just. So that soaks what? One wound? So more than once for attack. So sadly, yeah, if the kid, after rolling damage, but before applying wounds, character can spend a Benny, which he does. A number of rays, reducing a number of wounds. So sadly, no. Mordred, tell me how this works out for the 10-man here.
He's a big guy. He's like 12 feet tall or so.
Yes, he's absolutely 12, 13 feet tall.
Just found an opening and lunged forward, put like 1 foot on his knee, grab him by the collarbone, and jam the sword up through underneath his chin.
Nice. So you do, and you shove this thing through, and there's this moment where sparks are playing out of its eyes, and you see this. You hear the sound of, like, you know, an iPhone when it takes a picture, or like a cell phone, it's like as it's taking pictures of you, and then it just explodes, throwing you off to the side, in proper superhero fashion. There is a crowd that is gathered. There's quite a lot of interest in what's going on with this great big robots. What do you guys do? So you see this giant metal thing fall, crashing to the ground. There's one thug, Red Rocket, who continues to just coast away and is now seemingly happy to do that. No, he's on the ground. He fell. That's right. You whirlwinded him. Yeah, you're right. So he's there. He's bound. There is the guy flying around who's fully under your control. What do you guys do? We'll stay in initiative order for now and go to who would be up next, the Spectral Avenger.
I'm going to move towards Mordred and have the guy on his board come back slowly and land near the destroyed robot and get off his board.
Okay. You absolutely do. He kind of flies up and lands. Where do you have him land exactly? You're in control of him, right?
Yeah.
Should be.
Right next to the robot.
Okay. The robot is there sparking and smoking, and there's fire.
Maybe not right next to it, because
Okay.
we don't want it to explode and kill him just yet.
Go stand there and cook yourself.
Yeah, don't want that.
Yep.
There are police coming?
Yes, there are police cars on their way from the blare of sirens in the distance, and there seems to be a helicopter approaching, although you're not sure if it's a cop car or not. Or a cop helicopter.
I assume we regroup at some point.
That's safe to assume. If that, so you moved over by where? You move up over by Mordred, who's been kind of thrown over here, standing up, dusting himself off. The dead robot is there. There's kind of, folks out and hiding in the trees, kind of out by the parking lots and that sort of thing, watching from afar. Block scroll.
I'm going to slowly drag this guy back because I'm not very strong. So I'm like, yank, get him like a little bit.
Okay.
Yank, get him a little bit.
Are you using your robot arms, or are you dragging him with your mouth?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
I haven't used them at all. I just try to get him and start dragging him.
Okay. So you're doing that. Block scroll, what are you doing? Are you still a horse?
I am currently. So, is there any, you said that some of those people died, they just basically got zapped and turned into mush, right? Or ash?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nothing left. Is there any, soccer uniforms laying around? Would there be, maybe somebody had one?
I'm going to have to assume.
Playing,
yeah.
or?
Yeah, I'm going to have to assume so, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to grab one and put it on.
You go over by the by the bleachers.
And obviously I turn back into a girl.
Yeah. So you kind of walk over. And
you're not a horse wearing a jersey?
Yeah. You kind of walk over and are poking around in a bag, and you find yourself a jersey or a couple things you're rifling through. You find some shin guards, have to laugh, throw one off to the side. But yeah, you get it's actually number what? What number is it? 22. Mordred, what do you do?
I get up, dust myself off. It's like, wow, it's been a while since I've had that great a fight.
As behind you, there's a sort of spitting,
smoldering
sound
ruin.
Yeah, smoldering ruin, and kind of sparks shooting behind you, and you're there with your ghosty friend. Red Rocky,
So,
you see dragging the.
Where's the mom and daughter?
I know where they're at.
Oh, we should go get them.
They're okay. I got them to safety.
As we've gathered together, I fix my gaze on the one that's still under my control. Tell us why you're here.
Something that he would normally not do. He gets a.
He does
spirit
get
roll,
an
doesn't he?
opposed. Yes.
Remind me to reboot my router before we play every time. My God, that's bad. Just looking to drop.
Reboot your router before you play.
Thank you,
Hey,
Byron.
Jason.
Yeah.
You should reboot your router before every time.
Thanks, dude.
So he gets another opposed smarts roll.
Smarts roll.
Oh.
Oh, the wild eye might have saved you.
Yeah. What is this? One wounds. Yep. He's got -2. Why negative? Oh, I see. Yeah. So we've come for the core. He says. She has it.
And what were you going to do with it?
The doctor needs it to complete the algorithm. That's all I know. That's all I know. He uses big words. He talks to us through this crystal. And he can make gates like the one we came through. And he has control of technology, he says.
You will explain this to the authorities.
He gets another one. Yeah, with each insistence. He What shall I explain? What is there to explain? He says. You're all going to die. It's only a matter of time.
You will explain the deaths that you and your robotic friend caused. And you will tell them why you're here, just as you told us.
I will tell them. I will tell them why I came. I will. He's compliant. You seem satisfied, or do you press?
I'm satisfied for now.
Okay. So,
but with my telepathy power, I can also keep control over him, even if we leave the scene.
Okay. So do you leave the scene? That would be the important question. Do you stick around? Because the cops are like literally right there.
Well, I can go check on the family. You guys can stay here and answer questions. It'd probably be weird for them to catch me talking.
I'd rather not hang out.
We need to know if they're still in danger.
Okay. Poof.
Yeah, you sonic boom. Mordred, do you leave as well?
Yeah, I follow the dog.
Okay. You go riding off.
Well, I have to go with Mordred.
Yeah, so, and at this moment, it's, so Blocks Girl, you're the only one there, and you're wearing a soccer uniform. What do you do?
Only one there, and I'm wearing a soccer uniform.
Well,
I'm just going to kind of blend.
jersey.
I'm just going to kind of blend into the crowd.
Okay.
You could ride on the bike.
So I picture this moment, right? Like the camera's there, and you know, Red Rock is just like, and you go running out to the parking lot, and your motorcycle kind of just happens to be there, parked between two cars where you need it to be most, and off you go. And the Spectral Avenger, still standing on the scene, just kind of gets like yanked back to your reality. But then there's this moment where Blocks Girl, just with that nonchalant, kind of arrogant attitudes, just walking off the scene, blending into the crowd. And we end our episode here.